Welcome to Geography Now. I am your teacher, Miss Shauna Day, and today we're going to be taking you through one of our favorite topics, which is reducing, copying, or enlarging a map. Now, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to effectively reduce, enlarge, and copy a map. Let's get into it. Now, let's understand the basics of enlarging a map. We'll first look at a general map. Now, when enlarging any map to a given size, the following steps must be followed. Now, if you have a map at hand, take it out and let's go through these steps. Number 1. Measure the length and width of the original map. Number 2, multiply the length and width by 2. If you intend to enlarge the map to twice the original size, for example, if the length and width of a map are 6 cm and 4 cm respectively, such a map would measure 12 cm by 8 cm if enlarged to twice its size. Having enlarged the original map, it is equally obvious that the scale would change. Therefore, if a map has a scale of 1 to 6,000 ratio, the scale of the map change to 1 to 30,000. If the size has been enlarged twice its original size. The features to be shown on the enlarged map should also be proportional to the required size of the map. When you have the finished drawing, the enlarged map, write its title and the new horizontal scale. Now, let's have a quick look at a video demonstrating how one can enlarge a map.
If you look below us here, we have some requirements that we're supposed to work with so that will make our work very fast and easy and practical. We shall be working on the map again of the map of Olapo, where we are required to enlarge a map to more than half of the scale from the point north of northing is 92. We're going to read this figure, this grid reference, north of northing is 92. What do we mean by north of northing 92? If you look on the original map, this is the northings. The numbers that are numbered from south and they're increasing toward the north, they are referred to as northings, and therefore 92, this is northing 92. And when we refer to north of northing 92, it means that when we are 92, we look north of that. We are moving upward. If it was south of north is 92, therefore when we are in 92, we are walking down on this portion. So guys, we are working on this portion, the north part of 92, of north is 92. And we are also referred to west of easting 14. West of easting 14, if you look on a map here, we have the numbers that are numbered from the west toward the east. Like I said in the last class, they are referred to as the eastings because they are increasing towards the east. And this 14, easting 14, this is easting 14, and we talk about west of easting 14. We mean that we are at 14 and we are looking towards the west direction of easting 14. So it will be very important that students should come out with the area which you are supposed to enlarge. For instance, this is 92 and this is 14. So I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to do an intersection of these lines. It's the intersection of this line to this also. Good. When I do so, I know already that I am walking north of 92, east of 14. So I already know the portion in which I am working. It's very important that we come out with this small box which we find within it, because we're going to be measuring again the distances from 92 to 14 From this point, sorry, the distance from 10, not 92, is in 10. It's in 10 to 14. This is it. When I do this, it's going to give me 8 centimeters. It is again simple if I have to do this, because if I don't have a ruler, I simply count the number of boxes that I have. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 boxes. Now, given that each of these grid boxes are 2 centimeters each, I simply know that these 4 boxes represent what? 8 centimeters. And therefore, unlike in map reduction, whereby we are going to multiply, we are going to be dividing the number we've gotten by 2. In map enlargement, we rather multiply the figure we gotten in centimeters by 2. So if we had here, for instance, 8 centimeters, we're going to take 8 centimeters times 2. Yes, because we're enlarging the map. So it gives us 16 centimeters. So this will become now our length. While we do the same thing here, I can count how many grid boxes I have. From 92 to 95, I have 1, 2, 3. Each grid box is 2 centimeters. Therefore, 3 boxes times 2 centimeters will give me 6 centimeters. And if I take 6 centimeters times 2, since I am enlarging the map, this is it. I know some people would like us to take it with a ruler. This is it from 0. I've told you we start measurement from 0. It gives us 6 centimeters. So 6 centimeters times 2 is going to give us 12 centimeters. So this now becomes our width, and the other one becomes our length. And now I have to use these figures to draw a frame on my graph paper. We should recall that when drawing a map, when reducing a map, when enlarging a map, when copying a map, we need first of all to conceive the map on our mind, meaning that we need to know where the frame of the map, the required portion, will fit into. We are going to know where our title is supposed to be, so that we give appropriate space. We need space also for the key. We need space for the scale of the map. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to measure 16 centimeters. The longest side of my graph paper. I know this is longest side. I cannot work on this side because this side is the shortest. So I'm going to work on the longest side. I'm going to take 16 centimeters. I'm beginning from here. This is 0 centimeters, right up to 16 centimeters. I make sure my ruler is well placed on the line. Good. So this gives me 60 centimeters. And the other one is 12 centimeters. 12 centimeters, take it from here. Twelve centimeters here. And I'm going to frame up this, square this up. There's no need measuring again, since I've gotten the 2 measurements, which are very important. And having done that, I am now going to input the figures, the grid references, as the way they are, but making sure that they are supposed to be multiplied too, because the map has been enlarged. Take for instance, the distance between this grid reference, 92 to 93, here is 2 centimeters, meaning that I am going to take 2 centimeters times 2. Since the map has been enlarged, this is going to give me how many? 4 centimeters. So on my enlarged map, I am going to have 4 centimeters each. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to count, since each of the graph papers, each of the graph paper boxes are 1 centimeters. I'm going to count 4 of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here I place a ruler and I draw. I count again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place my ruler here. Next one, 1, 2, 3, 4. We count here 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's good. Now, if it's not okay, for instance, if I count and give me 3, then there's a need for you to go and redraw again. Perhaps you must have done something wrong on the way. So I now try to input my figures. How will I put it? Now, if you look at it very well, this portion, which was 3, we count it 1, 2, 3, has become this. 1, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and we draw. So much that we should be able to have just 3 grid boxes. Of 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm good there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I have to plot this now, this is what I have, guys. If you look at it very well, here is already a portion for my title. Here, I've kept this for the cardinal direction to show the direction of my map. I've allowed appropriate space here for the key, and the scale as well will be placed above. So if you look at this here, I'm going to represent the figures which are there. The first figure which we have here is 92. So I write down here 92. The next one is 93. I'm going to write all of them since there's space. 94. And the last one, 95. I'm good there. Then I come now from 10 to the next figure, which is the next listing, which is 14. I make sure that all of them have to enter here. So I have 10 already. So I can 10 like this, and I write here 10. Continue. Next one, I have 11. I have 12. I have 13, and here I have 14. So this already becomes my enlarged portion of the map already.
Now, here is a more detailed explanation of enlarging a map, just in case you didn't get it the first time. So you can draw a grid over the map or the section of the map you want to enlarge. The map you are dealing with may already have a grid. The eastings and the northings on a map from a grid. You can then draw a larger grid on a piece of paper. The exact size of this larger grid depends on how much larger you want to draw your map. Now, if you make your grid squares twice as long and twice as wide as the grid squares on the original map, then your enlarged drawing, as I mentioned before, will be twice as long and twice as wide as the original map. Include the numbers of the eastings and the northings if they are present on your map. Now remember, for CSEC geography examination, the grid is usually provided. All right? Now, let's get into map reduction. Now, when reducing any map to a given size, the following steps must be followed. The first thing we do is measure the length and width of the map. Divide the length and width by 2 if you're asked to reduce the map to half of its original size. For example, if the length and width of the map are 30 cm and 20 cm respectively, such a map should measure 15 cm by 10 cm if reduced to half its size. Having reduced the original map, it is obvious that the scale would equally change. Therefore, if a map has a scale of 1 to 50,000, the scale of the map changes to 1 to 100,000 if the size has been reduced to half of its original size. I hope you're following and hope you're keeping up. Now, the features should be shown on the reduced map should also be proportional to the required size of the map. Now, when you have finished drawing the reduced map, remember to write its title and the new horizontal scale. Now, let's have a quick look at a video demonstration of reducing a map.
Now, having have enlarged box ready, we need to insert some features already given, like the ferry for passengers, information center. We have large Broom, road A, 835, and the last one is a campsite. Now, dear students, you need to follow up carefully. You should recall that a map is just like your home. Without a key, you can't enter into the house, and neither will you know the content of the house. So we always require a key. Each time you have to represent any feature, or each time you are being referred to any feature, you must get to the key so as to know the content of the map. So we have features, for example, like the ferry for passengers. We have a broad map there. We can know what's a ferry for passengers. We will come to the key. We look at the ferry. What is meant by a ferry? Let's look at it. For example, if you look here, we have ferry P, and we have another one, ferry V. Ferry P, what does it mean? Look at the first meaning here, ferry in bracket passengers. The next one, ferry V, ferry for vehicles. Good. So we come to the map now. We look at the area. We are working again with the same area where we enlarge. And remember that we enlarge this position from north of is 92, and the west of is 14. So we are working on this position here. Good. So where's ferry P, which stands for ferry for passengers? This is it here. Good. We all see it. Ferry P, ferry for passengers. So we simply have to represent this ferry. What will I do? I simply look at the grid box where the ferry starts and how it functions. I come here. It starts in between 11, and Northings 93. So I come, this is 11, and this is 93. So I draw my ferry. What I'm going to do here, watch. I come like this, and the ferry goes up, right up to the end of the extract, up to 95. Good. There I have my ferry. Now I can write here ferry P. Good. And the next one, information center. How will I know an information center? Unless I get to the key. I come here, tourist information. I look at it. This is what we mean by an information center. We're going to see on the map an eye in a box. So we look at the portion where we have enlarged. If you can find an eye on the box, good. This is one. I think it's the lone one. An eye on the box. So where is it found? It's good to look at the grid box where it is found. We don't just go and represent on the map. We look at it. It's found in between 13, eastern 13 and eastern 14, as well as northings 93 and 94. In fact, it is found very close to northings 94. So I come here, eastern 13 and 14, and 93 and 94. So I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to draw an eye, small eye, if it doesn't matter, in a box. There you go. I have my information center. The next one, large Broom. Recall last time we took a reduction, we saw large Broom. And large Broom we set is this river. If you see it written, large Broom, it's listed there. Even though very shallow, but it's clear here. Large Broom is this river. But I'm not going to draw all of this river. I am drawing a river. I'm anywhere my extract ends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take from 95, good. And since it's an enlarged map, please look very well. I have to enlarge a river too. We start at 95, as such. And ends at 13. And you take the next one from here. we should completely cover up to 14. So you see how large it is? It is larger as compared to the original map. And if you wish, you can color. It's good to color. So you show a representation of the map, of the original map. You need to be very fast. Map reading consumes a lot of time. And I write here, come here, write large Broom. Is this spelled? L-O-C-H. Large Broom. I'm writing in capital letters because it is a major feature. You see, one of the highest, is the most visible feature on the map. That's why I write with the capital letter. And the next one, which is the last one, is the campsite. How do I know the campsite? Look at the key. Come to the campsite. You see something like a triangle. So come here and look at it also on the map. Around here is the campsite. We have a campsite here. So we come also to our enlarged map. Where we're going to put it. The campsite is found in between Nordings 94 and 95, as well as Easting. You see very well. Easting 12 and 13. There we go. So we come to 94, 95. Good. 12, 13. It's 12, 13. So we come here and approximately, excuse me, 12, 13. Okay, yes, 12, 13. And it's 94, 95. So 12, 13 should be here. So we put a campsite here. Something as such. Good. Now, you move now directly to the key. Remember I told you that we have both physical features and human features. It's often good to start with physical features. But before that, we write a key. Key A. Physical features. Capital letters. Physical features. Okay. Features, sorry. Which are the physical features? Remember I told you start with line symbols, which are those symbols that have no limitation. For example, we have a river. We come here, we put a river. We color a river. This river is called Loch Broom. Good. Next one, we have no other physical feature. We move to the human features, B. Should be very neat. Human features. Which are the human features we have? We have the ferry. See, there's a ferry for passengers. We have information center. It's just above here. Small I in a box. We're putting in a box because it's a representative symbol. Right here, information center. And the last one, we have the campsite. So we're going to go manage the space here. Good. What do we need again? Like I said, we have other elements of the map. For instance, we have the cardinal direction to show direction of the map. Have your map without to read very well your map. You see usually an arrow pointing to the north. Only please. You need not put south, east, west, no. Simply put the north. It's okay like that. The last one, last but not the least, is the title of the map. Remember, we are working with the map of Olapo, and which is of a scale of 50,000 francs. Sorry, 50,000 Cameroonian. And when we, like I said, when we look at reduction, said that when you reduce a map, what happens to the scale? The scale has to increase. Reason being that a lot of features have been squeezed up. Rather now, when we enlarge a map, the scale has to be reduced. You have to divide the scale by 2. So the difference between a reduced map and a enlarged map is that an enlarged map the scale reduces, while a reduced map the scale increases. So however, a large scale is smaller than a smaller scale. So you just take that principle, that's a principle in geography. So what will be the title of the map here? We're going to have an enlarged map extract of Olapo. I'm going to write it neatly up here. An enlarged, sorry, enlarged map extracts of Olapo we have to use the area in which we are working. We're working north of northeast 92. Let's say enlarged map extract of Olapo north of northeast 92 and west of eastern. We give eastern 14, and beside it we're going to put the new scale, which when we divide 50,000 by 2 divided by 2 is going to give us 25,000. So our new scale will be 1:25,000. Remember that in geography, all diagrams are supposed to be grouped together. And how do we group them? By putting them in a generalized frame, so much so that they belong to each other. Just like in words, you do any diagram in Word, you need to border all of them together. And there we go. Here we have our enlarged map, extract of Olapo, north of northeast 92 and west of eastern 14. The new scale now we have here is 1:25,000. Remember, we have a cardinal direction pointing to the north. We have the key. Remember, you are supposed to start with the physical features next to the human features, and you try to group them very well. You need to also represent the eastings, the northings very well, as well as the eastings, as well as the future.
Now, the process of reducing the size of a map or a section of a map is similar to increasing or enlarging, if you have not noticed by now. Now, you are going to need to draw a grid which is smaller than the grid on the original map. Our next is map copying. So you already have a sketch of a map, all right? So we're gonna follow these steps. Now remember, we're copying a map. So which means we're looking to get the exact, yes? We're going to make some twins here. So number 1 says, using a sharp pencil, you're going to draw a box to the same scale as the map extract. For example, let's say it is 12 cm by 18 cm. Now you're going to draw a faint grid line as they appear on the map. Write the numbers alongside the grid lines. Now remember from our lessons in 4-figure and 6-figure grid referencing, this should be easy peasy for you. But we're going to be focusing on 6-figure grid referencing, yes? So use a 6-figure grid reference to plot the following features on your sketch map. You're going to plot the coastline and the river, main roads, railway lines and stations, harbors, rough outline of the built-up area, Shoreham Airport. Let's just call it that for now. Or you can do our own Ogle Airport, whatever floats your boat. And you can even plot a school, a hospital, and a cemetery. When you're finished doing that, you add a key, the north point and scale line, and give your map a title, a sketch map of Georgetown, or probably, within your village or area, whichever sketch map you've decided to use. So remember, when enlarging a map, okay, it is good to draw a grid over the map or the section of the map you want to enlarge. So the map you're dealing with may already have a grid, the eastings and northings on the map from a grid, all right? So take example from the map that you are going to enlarge. And you do the same for the map you're going to reduce, all right? I trust you have learned in today's lesson with copying, enlarging, and reducing a map. I am your teacher, Ms. Shanade, and this is Geography Now. See you later. Bye.